to Couch Conversations with Carmalita.
All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
All right. So, I'm moving to Africa. I'm moving to Senegal because when I visited in 2018, I had this like awakening, you know, and I learned so much about like ancestral connection, and it just honestly felt good to be surrounded by hella black folks in a hella black space, like an unapologetically black space. Like one of the most beautiful things that I saw in Senegal was something so simple as a billboard, right? It was a billboard of this beautiful smiling child that was just so chocolate, and it was a water bottle advertisement, right? I'm like, I've never seen anything like that in America, where a dark-skinned happy child was drinking water on a billboard. It was like the simplest thing, but I was like, I loved that because, you know, that is the standard. It's March 20th, and I just had an amazing conversation with one of my friends, and yeah, I'm moving to Africa, and she's been saying for years at this point that like I don't belong here, right? Or at least for now, I never should have come back from Senegal when I came the last time. She was like, I'm feeling like you should have stayed then, right? And there was so much in me wanting to, but like the fear of lack and not having enough and all these things. And so literally last night, I was crying, and I was laying next to a man, and his back was to me, and he was being very cold and icy, and what I feel to be like emotionally manipulative, because when you ignore a person when they're talking to you, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it was difficult. It was difficult to experience, and it was also very triggering for me because a lot of my marriage was spent with this big, broad chocolate back facing me, right? And I felt very alone in that relationship. And so to go and spend the night at a man's house, and he's cold and ignoring me, and his back is facing me, and he's just being very like, it was a lot for me. So I cried myself to sleep last night. And then, you know, today it was like nothing happened, you know? And so the hard part about last night is that I cried myself to sleep and just asked the universe to take me because it was too hard. I've experienced a lot of hurt already, and I just felt like I can't keep doing this, you know? And so instead of changing the scenery, instead of changing the man, instead of changing who I was with or spending my time with, I wanted the universe to change me being in the world. And that's not cool, right? It was really difficult for me because, you know, I really like this man, and I just wanted to be wanted, you know? And I was forcing it, you know, clearly. I found myself feeling inadequate, and like I wasn't doing enough, and that editing YouTube videos wasn't enough, and that curating like an online vibe on social media wasn't enough, and like me just being a writer wasn't enough, and me creating content or being able to be like relatable to people, like I thought it wasn't enough. Me being me, I thought it wasn't enough, and so I found myself not wanting to be here because of someone else's opinion of me. And that's how I spent my marriage. And so I had a lot of feelings today, but I'm so thankful to have an amazing support system, and I have friends that I can talk to and connect with, and them just so into me, just beautifully, right? And so I was avoiding talking to one of my friends, and she called me earlier, And then she called me a second time, and we were literally on the phone for over 5 hours. And she's been mentioning to me for years, like, you should have never came back to the States. Like, you don't have to go forever, but you belong in Africa. And I was like, why am I still here? And so it's where I want to go. It's where I've been loosely talking about going. And I've kept saying this year, like, I think I'm probably going to spend some time abroad next year. But I just re-signed my lease literally a month ago. So I'm like, I'm going to be staying in Houston for a while. But I don't feel a pull to here anymore. I think living in the Houston area was a good break for me. Bouncing around for a while after my divorce, I didn't have my own apartment for, let me see, from February 2018 to February 2020. So for 2 years I didn't have my own space, right? So for 2 years I did a variation of like traveling, live-in nannying, couch hopping for my friends, moving around a lot, but I was sharing a lot of spaces with people in their homes, and it became overwhelming, and I just wanted my own space. And so when I got this apartment, I just felt like, oh, I'm home in myself, and I get to just be. A bitch goes running 3 miles one day just to, yeah, we're just gonna eat it. Well, we'll eat the whole thing. So I found myself shackled to this apartment because I've created sanctuary here, and it's the first place that I felt safe and loved, and I've made this home for myself. But it's like, if I can make this home for myself, I can make anywhere home for me. Like, if I can do well here, I can do well anywhere. So all of this to say, I'm going to Africa. So yeah, I don't have any details really. I have a bunch of notes. And ideas, but I'm about to sell all this shit, and yeah, so it's the 20th. We'll go from there. So I'm excited. I'm exhausted emotionally. I'm gonna pray about it tonight. I literally just got a tattoo last Tuesday of a baobab tree with the roots in Africa and the words Jamarek on my hip, because all of those things just meant so much, and I'll go into detail about those things at another time. But I literally just got a tattoo with the roots of Africa, and so it's like, what more sign do you need to go back home?
From my center, at the center